feels weird. The 2026, like 2025, just flew by.
It did. Like,
It did.
I blinked my eyes and opened, and it was a new year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a peaceful one though.
No, it wasn't. It was kind of a
lot of work.
nightmare of
A
a
lot
year.
of work. 2025 drained a lot of people.
Yes.
It did. So, hey, y'all. I am Consuela Gaines, better known as Sway.
Dr. Matthew Green.
Marcus Simmons, aka Chachi.
And we are in a new year, a new season of From Change to Change with Voice of the Experience, better known as Vote. And like we were saying, last year was a year.
Going to focus on the change part for 2026.
That change, what can we do? And I know a lot of people probably, hopefully, y'all came into the new year with some New Year resolutions, right? And I'm not talking your typical New Year's resolutions. I'm not a traditional type of person. But I hope that people came into 2026 with voting on their mind and having a New Year resolution of becoming a registered voter, becoming an active voter in every election. Because that is what we need, y'all, to pull us up out of this mud that we are sinking in like quicksand. We have got to get more engaged and more active. And we need to build up our knowledge. We need to know what's going on because so many things went on that kind of went over our heads, hit us blindsided. I mean, just really knocked us out the box from the SNAP benefits. SNAP benefits were halted for a while. Some people, from what I understand, have been taken completely off. Now they're attacking housing, people with felony convictions. It's going to be kind of really, really hard for folks to even get housed. It's already hard. The unhoused population is steadily increasing. I can only imagine what it will be like if we don't get a grip on things.
Right.
And I think you're talking about New Year's resolution getting voting. I want people to set a resolution to be more civically engaged. And I don't mean civically engaged arguing over parade routes. I mean civically engaged in uplifting and focusing on one issue, maybe just one issue where you are focused on, maybe it's the unhoused, maybe it's the homeless population, right? Like, what is it that we can create in this community? Because everybody is thin across the board, right? Like, there are only so many services, and they are running out of services.
Yeah, you're speaking of people running out of services, your food banks. They need food. They need canned goods. Because it wasn't just people who were on SNAP benefits who were affected by the government shutdown last year. It was the government workers. A lot of them were having to depend on their local food banks. And so
every time you go to the airport, those TSA workers checking you in.
Yes.
They weren't getting paid.
They were not getting paid.
Hell, when I saw military people in line for food, that was oh my God.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, that was as low as we could get.
So when we're talking about New Year's resolutions, voting, civic engagement, it's all about building community.
Yeah, and educating, learning, and
learning
paying
about
more
those
attention.
issues.
Paying more attention.
So we say this, I work with teachers, I work with schools, and canned food drives, clothes drives are always very popular. And we always emphasize, right, like for teaching and education, don't just talk about like doing it with students. Talk about why is it necessary, right? What happened somewhere, right? Like what happened in our social safety net? What happened with our social policies? Last year we had Chico on with our year in wrapped up, and we talked about all the failures of housing, jobs, right? Like transportation. And we think about the local Lafayette community and think about all the ways those things impact people, could disrupt, like when one gets disrupted, it can severely affect somebody's life, right? And how needing food or being food insecure isn't just an individual fault. You got military families who are not getting paid, TSA agents who are not getting paid.
Yes.
Why is it necessary to do these things? And it's not necessarily one person's fault.
Right, right. Now, you and I, as me as a college instructor, us working at a college, we have the ability to use our platform to educate the whole child. However, public education, they don't have the same, I don't think they have the same ability without having some consequence to actually talk to kids about things like racism.
It's only so
things
far.
Yeah, it's only so far that they could go.
Yeah.
However, I would still like to invoke to anyone that has a platform of any kind, or anyone, whether you're a coach, whether you're a coach in sports, whether you're a tutor, whether you're a teacher, some way, somehow, if you are in charge at some point of multiple people, it is your duty to try and preserve us as a whole. If you could just reach one, that one will know later that his job is to reach one. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't just continue moving like this. And when you said earlier about things going over our head, I was in my mind at that moment, I was just thinking, a lot of people don't go out to vote because they literally feel, that ain't gonna affect me. That ain't gonna bother me. So we need to find a way to have more educational opportunities to show, and out the box, not the typical, the typical preaching is what they call it. Right. We need to make people see how these things will affect them. The things they have no idea, the ways they have no idea how things affect them in the long run.
Right. And the place that, because I hear it all the time, right? Like working with college age students saying, well, I don't vote. I don't get involved in that. Right. It doesn't matter anyway, right? Like no matter, it doesn't matter who you vote for. But the place that and what we're talking about, voting, community, the place it does matter is in local elections, especially, right? Like there are elections just last month that I think 30 votes decided some of the things. And so, right, like when you're talking about, absolutely, Mark's like, I think it's, I keep saying this over and over in different venues, right? Not necessarily just with vote, but I keep telling people, I was like, nobody's coming to save us.
No, right.
Nobody's coming to save us, right? And so starting local and starting with that like one issue that you really tap into, I mean, for all of us here, it has been voting, criminal justice reform. For somebody else, right, like there are many lanes on this highway that people can get their car in and drive.
Right.
But to your point, right, like it's about time to put that rubber to the road when we're driving.
Yes, it's time.
And talking about like what are we doing, and the place to do it is definitely locally. Like we can have an impact in our communities.
And there are several organizations right here in Lafayette. Of course, I'm an advocate for vote for people becoming vote members. But there are other organizations that can align with, what people are wanting to do right here, all around you. So just really pay attention to who's doing what. If you like what they're doing and you want to become a part of that organization, by all means, get in contact with them.
Yes.
Join them. Because we tend to work together anyway. Here at Lafayette, we normally work together. We build coalitions, and we tend to work on the same issues.
You see the same people all over the place.
See the same people. And like you said, there's no one coming to rescue us, and we have to pull ourselves up. We have to do that, and it is hard. It's not going to be easy. But it can be done because it has been done. If you pay attention to history and which is something else that we're fighting, you know, them wanting to erase and pretend that certain things never took place. If you pay attention to real history, people have struggled. People have faced prejudices. They have been wrong. They have faced injustices. But when they came together, when they all came together and stood up for themselves and said, no more, enough is enough, that's when the change, from change to change,
focusing on the change
starts
this year.
to happen.
That's right.
No one or two people can do it by themselves. So stop looking at your pastor thinking they're going to do it. Stop looking at your city councilman thinking he or she can do it by themselves. Stop looking at whoever you're looking at thinking they could do it alone. Because no one can do any of this work alone. Right. It takes a community.
It takes a village.
It takes it takes all of us. Period. So that is what I'm hoping that some people's New Year's resolutions are, is to be more community centered. Yeah. And come out of that, oh, it's not my family, it's not me, it hasn't, affected my family, it hasn't affected my job. It can. And the way things are going, eventually it will. If you just sit around and pretend as if it's not going to ever knock on your front door. And that's what that's kind of, what I want to see, people to come out of the selfishness and saying, oh, well, it's not me, because we have to learn how to help each other. Right. And that's the only way that we can really continue to build community and the village and the strength that we're going to need to pull ourselves up out of this mess that we've fallen into. And it can be done, and it will be done, but only if and when we all work together.
That's why these past few months with the No Kings parade and the good trouble and stuff, witnessing people come together and put aside all of those, like Chico said in the last show, put all of that stuff aside and come together. All these little differences, and understand that we are all that we have. Matt, no one is coming to save us. If we don't realize that right now, if we don't realize that after this government shutdown, we are all the same people. If we still think that we breathe different air, if anyone thinks you breathe different air from another race of people or another person from another country, we might need to get some mental evaluation, because that shutdown showed us that we're all in the same boat.
No one is exempt.
We're all in the same boat.
And I think for 2026, when we're talking about resolutions, right? Like, everybody sets the resolutions, and it's famous for doing it in January and then not. But for me,
off by after Mardi Gras.
But for me, I think my challenge to people this 2026, and this is something I think I've shared with both of y'all, right, is that we're now in season 6 of this TV show. The power in showing up. And over and over and over again, because you just mentioned Chico came on for our wrap up in 2025, our last show, and I love this thing that he said, our very first episode. If you go back 6 seasons, our very first episode, he said, change shows up in overalls and looks like hard work.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And that scares a lot of people off. But one thing we can say from being here 6 years, and y'all been doing this work a lot longer than I have, is it requires people to keep showing up. Just keep showing up and keep being there, right? Like, and it's like, I think a lot of people get scared off by what am I gonna do? How am I gonna contribute? Like, you're worrying about all the wrong things. The thing you gotta worry about is showing up.
Right.
That's it.
People
showing up.
People don't believe that Jordan wasn't nothing. He could barely shoot ball when he was in college. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a Tar Heel, so I take offense to that because
But people don't know that Jordan was, that people described him as trash.
Really?
Yes, they described him as trash, but he kept showing up.
Kept showing up.
Kept showing up to the gym. Kept showing up to the gym.
He was the hardest worker.
And
that's
every
for sure.
every challenge made him better.
And because of him showing up, he became one of the greatest players to ever.
Yes.
But what it also does is when that hard work, that building a village, building a community, right? It takes time.
It
Like
does.
I think about Sway, one of the early conversations I had with you about worrying about how many people are in the room, how many people are at meetings, and then recognizing the people who are there are the people who are meant to be there. But it's also a recognition that once you start building that, and this is a challenge to everybody out there for 2026, it's about the change, is it gives you more people to do the work, do the heavy lifting, right? Like to do the education part. You don't have to have the one person doing everything.
No.
It's
Everybody
not
has
just
a role.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
just
Everybody can chip in.
everybody has a role and move as one.
That's it.
You know, when I think about when I think about the Smurfs, I know you heard me make jokes about our little Smurf shirt. But when I remember when I used to watch the Smurfs, especially when I was in prison, and I would get an opportunity to watch something, and I would see the Smurfs on, and I would watch, and I would just watch how they all work together. You know, because they were all little bitty, little bitty, but they worked together to get everything accomplished. You know, and I mean, and they were people, and they all had different accents. They all had different, a few different skin tones, personalities, but they all worked together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And got everything done that they set out to do. That's all we have to do.
Everything. Yeah. And we can learn so much from the Smurfs. We can learn so much from ants.
Yeah.
You know, little red ants.
I want to go back to Marcus watching the Smurfs, right? You know?
In prison.
Because I'm sitting here thinking about this as like, Sway, we were talking before that we started filming, right? Like 2025 beat down a lot of people. A lot of people, right? And so I think with that change, right, what's a change from that is finding our joy again, being able to laugh about Marcus watching the Smurfs and finding our joy with each other and building that again, right? Because you have to have that. You can't pour from an empty cup. And so you got to fill it back up. I didn't know that about you, Marcus. That's some good information, man.
Well, you know, everything after being in prison, after I grew up, everything became an educational moment. I didn't miss an opportunity to learn. I tried to learn from every single thing that my eyes and my ears.
And look, now you Papa Smurf.
Yeah, now I'm Papa Smurf. Ain't that something? But yeah. But when my eyes was open, that's when I would be able to watch TV and see the big picture. See past what I was looking at.
And that's the thing.
And
That's
made
the
sense
thing
of it.
too. For folks to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
I know it's hard right now. I know it is hard to go into the stores and 2 items is $20.
Yeah.
You know, you put 2 items in a bag and it's $20. So I know you're like, oh my God, where is this going to end? Or how is this going to end? Is it going to get better? And it probably will get worse before it gets better. But you got to see the bigger picture.
Yes.
You got to see the bigger picture. I mean, this country has survived the Depression.
Yep.
You know,
Wars.
our folks have survived some things. The pandemic.
Yep.
We have survived some things that while we were going through it, we didn't think or we couldn't see how are we going to get to the other side of this thing.
How are we going to make it? And
how are we going to make it?
yes.
But the community, they came together as communities and they helped each other. And that was the only way. And some of you folks get in the Bible too. The only way a lot of people made it through the situations that we find ourselves in is when we come together in community. That's the bottom line.
And I think about what Marcus was saying, right? Like with that, in that we breathe the same air. And I think so many people, we've gotten to a place that we don't see the humanity in each other. And that's what I love about Vote, right? Like I sit here in between the two of y'all. I'm not formally incarcerated, but one thing Vote has taught me is how to see the humanity in each other, right? To sit here and, you know, y'all are my extended family, right? Like my daughter knows y'all, my wife knows y'all, and just like to see the joy about calling Marcus Papa Smurf and to be able to laugh, right? Like that people are not their worst moments.
That's it.
That people are not whittled down to a single thing, and that we're all still in community. And I think that's for me probably, you know, what I like. I learned that lesson a long time ago, but I take with me and I try to impart it on everybody, whether it's in education and teaching, whether it's the work with Vote, is right. Like, how do you give people and make sure you are giving people humanity instead of dehumanizing them? Because there are so many easy ways to dehumanize them, right?
Yes.
And 2025 has been all about dehumanizing people,
Yes.
whether you're an
Yes, I was just
immigrant,
gonna say that.
whether you're, you know, an incarcerated person, right? Like Louisiana, we created all sorts of new laws to criminalize things. And so how do we rehumanize in 2026?
We start rehumanizing by getting to the ballot box.
Yes.
By voting some of those fools out of office. Get them out
Well,
and replace them.
I
That's
think
how
the
that's
key-
how we start bringing humanization back.
I think the key to this moment right here is not allowing ourselves to become institutionalized with this new administration. Because if we're not careful, this will become the norm.
Yeah.
And we're just going to fall into that roller coaster.
Yep.
And then
Make it
it's
our
just
norm.
like being institutionalized because
Can't make it
that's
our
what you're
norm.
going to expect.
Yep.
And then you contributing to it inadvertently,
Yeah.
don't even realize it. So I really think that we really need to listen to our tears. When that government shutdown happened, people cried. See, and that's why I invoke to people, they should read my book, Life Lies, because I talk about these moments. I talk about like listening to your tears.
Yes.
Because that's when you have a conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
And you could lie to me, I could lie to you, but you cannot lie. And I know people try to lie to themselves,
Some people do for a long time.
but you cannot lie to yourself. And your tears, you listen to those tears, remember that conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, you have to. And then you spoke about, one of you guys just had mentioned about is to build things back up.
Yeah.
Sometimes from my experience on this planet, which been a rough one, I realized that sometimes in order for something to be new, and I speak about that in the book too, if I need to, right where this camera is, if that's a fixed structure and I need to build something there, that whole spot needs to be leveled off. It needs to be demolished. It needs to be moved to start brand new. So that pain that we dealing with, that confusion, all that stuff we going through, sometimes this whole
It's part of the
thing
process.
might need to be, you know, and we pray and we ask God, fix this, help us, do this. But then when he starts fixing it and helping us, because we don't overstand like he does, now he picking on us. But really, he answering our prayers.
Right.
My wife's
He's doing it the way he sees fit to do it.
And my wife's favorite Bible verse, she says, you know, where God tells somebody, it's like, oh, you want to see change? Pick up your mat and walk. You got to create the change.
Yeah,
But you're
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
like
yeah.
we can't normalize this, and I think that's such the power of Vote and providing a counter narrative to what we see. Because Sway, 2025 was a rough year. And then my wife and you and I shared about this, about a daddy-daughter dance, right? That was
Right,
happening in
right.
Angola.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
saw
like,
that. That was beautiful.
how do we not normalize all of this and create something different? And I think
Right.
that's such an important message to take into 2026.
Yes. And, you know, it's when you want better, you're going to have to do some different things. You're going to have to step out on faith. you know, and that change is just really starting within yourself, believing that it can happen.
Yeah.
First, I mean, if you don't see it, you got to have that vision within yourself to be able to. One day you'll see it in fruition, and it yeah, that was a beautiful thing that
Yeah.
that father daughter
Yes,
dance
yes,
at
I saw
Angola. That was a start of something I think very beautiful, very humane.
Yeah.
You know, in showing that people make mistakes, and just because they mistakes, it doesn't mean that their children or their communities need to suffer for their mistakes. We just have to continue to love each other and treat each other humanely and with respect and dignity. And I believe that's going to help us get to where we want to be in
Right.
2026 and beyond.
Right.
Is just continuing to show love and treat each other the way you want to be treated.
And I'm just so thankful to Yahweh for granting people the compassion and the wisdom to see that these things like the father daughter dance needs to take place, to have that, for having that humanity to allow something like that to take place.
Yeah.
You know, because when I saw that young man grab his daughter and cry, I've been there. That wasn't a cry, that was a cry. He needed to relieve himself, and that was his apology.
Yeah.
Spiritual apology to that little girl for not being there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And from that point, everything he does in his life is to make that girl proud of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But if you've never been there, you don't understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so
And guys, you know, we running out of time, but to continue these conversations, we do invite you to attend our monthly meetings. We'll be meeting on the 15th of this month, January 15th at Trendy Spaces, located at 102 Carmel Drive, from 6 to 8 p.m. Everyone is welcome. If you would like to attend our monthly gathering, you are more than welcome to come, and hopefully we will see you
Hopefully.
at one of our meetings this year. And with that being said,
no surrender.
no
retreat.